Oh, there we go. Looks like we're recording now. Okay, good morning, everybody. We've got the recording started. So I was telling you guys that I took a speed reading course this weekend. I'm so excited to read way more books, study in a different way, retain more information, make more money, change more lives, do the whole thing. And it takes a certain mindset to constantly keep learning, right? It's I had a few other team members in there with me. Jenna was there with me, and it's like, wow, holy cow, guys, this is a cool little shortcut. Like Renatus is a shortcut for making money. We just keep finding shortcuts everywhere we go. And speaking of shortcuts, I wanted to talk about a little bit today anyway, before we get our special guest here, which towards the end of today, we will have a special guest. Mr. Troy Dunn is going to be on the call with us. He's going to be talking about our international expansion. So make sure you got everyone on the call here that you want to be, your teams and everybody, make sure you got them on, because we're going to be talking about how to expand internationally. And Troy is one of the people who definitely has experience doing that. Okay, now I'm just going to turn off some of these videos because, there we go. Okay. So let's talk about making some more money, making some changes, taking quick action. We have a small window coming up. Well, we're in that small window right now of, you heard it on the Founders webinar, and I hope you've been watching the Founders webinar. If you haven't, you need to make it a priority. And I got some cool new fonts for my drawings. You guys like this? Founders webinar is every Monday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, and Bob goes over important announcements. He has special guests on the line. Today, we're going to have Woody Woodward going over a new profits presentation. So it's going to be pretty awesome. But he's been mentioning a few different changes coming up about the compensation plan. Now, I talked about it a little bit on Super Saturday, but let's just go over it again. For those of you who weren't at Super Saturday, I know last Super Saturday was busy for a lot of people, but there's going to be some changes coming. We like change. Change is an opportunity for growth. Change is an opportunity to see really what we're made of, to see what else we can accomplish. So the compensation plan. Are you being compensated? One of the best recruiting questions when I meet someone that has a great attitude and a great just energy about them is I'll often ask them, are you getting paid, right? Or another way of saying getting compensated. Are you getting paid what your people skills are worth? Are you getting paid what your people skills are worth? Right? You walk into a grocery store and someone's just super cheerful, friendly, helpful, smart. You can just tell they got their wits about them, but for some reason they work at a grocery store. And so you ask them, hey man, or excuse me, but if, I love your energy. I love the attitude that you bring here. Do you feel like you're getting paid what your people skills are worth? And 9 out of 10 times it's no. People are like, no, this is just a thing I'm doing. Like, okay, well, I help people get into real estate investing so that they can make more money and do what they want with their life. Is that something that would interest you? Have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? That's the easy one. And because this is important to understand. Have you ever considered, let me put ever in here because that's an important word in this. Have you ever considered getting involved in real estate? Real estate. Okay, or real estate investing to be clear. Okay, have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? Okie dokie. All right, now. Cool. Zoom is trying to do an update while I'm using Zoom. Kind of silly. Okay. Have you ever considered getting involved in real estate? Now, this question is super important to be designed this way because think about this. Have you, now this is a question for all of you on the line here. Have you ever considered colonizing Mars? Now, what just happened? Right? Have you ever considered purple monkeys? Have you ever considered kimchi pancakes? You know what's happening here is we're using NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. We're using a certain language of words to put images in your head. So when you create this question, have you ever considered? And then you fill in the blank. As soon as you say the thing, now you've considered it. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? So that's just how our brains work. When there's a question, then it looks for the answer. And our brain thinks in pictures. So when you say, by the way, isn't this cool? This is pretty cool, right? So when you say, have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? The second you ask that question, they're now considering it. No, I've never really thought about it until now, or yeah, I've thought about it before. Either way, you've now got them thinking about it. So then you use your audio business card, right? I help entrepreneurs expand their businesses. I help struggle employees to transition out of hourly wages into passive cash flow through real estate investing. So they can kick butt and take names. That wouldn't interest you, would it? And then your invitation to take a look. Invitation either to a webinar, right? A recorded one, a live webinar, or, you know, for now we don't get to do live events. What a weird game. Or one-on-ones through the web. But the invitation is next. Let me just show you something. Let you consider it a little bit more. Okay, so we have the methodology, we have the tools, we got the systems, we got the process in place. But now let's talk about this change. What is going to be changing? Well, Bob Snyder has already talked on the Founders Webinar. When's the Founders Webinar? Mondays at 4. Don't skip it. Okay, but the compensation plan is changing. You've heard him talk about it a little bit. If you haven't, let me give you my take on it. Comp plan change. And there's a small window that we're in now. Small window for big advantages. And I want you to pay attention to this for your own sake, but then also for your teams, for talking to other people, to help them make a sale. So I'm not telling you necessarily what the new plan is going to be, because I'm not authorized to say that, but I can tell you what some of the changes are coming. Okay. So recognize this. All right, we have our essentials corner up here. We got our AIT over here. And we used to be, one of the cool benefits was, hey, if you want to shortcut the system, you go ahead and buy an essentials, and we will count you as your first sale. And we're going to give you more commission. So there were 2 bonuses, right? One was you, and 2 is you got half the commission during your training sales. And then once you cross that line, then you become a 1-star, and now you get the full $1,000 off the essentials for however many people you find after that. And you can just go to town, find 100 people, get $100,000. And then if you bought an AIT program, right, the bucket would be reduced from what used to be 45,000, and they would chop off the top here and give you a 27.
Is it coming?
All right. Okay. Well, now some things have changed. So that was bonus number 1, was the chop. And then bonus number 2, you'll be able to put your own commission in there. So that way you really only had to go to 18,000 to earn your 5-star. And then after that, however many people you brought in, you got paid 10,000, you got paid 1,200, you got paid the 1,000, you got paid the 4,000. Whatever you were selling, that's what you got paid. Now, this has been a fantastic plan, but some things got to change. Let me make sure everything looks clean here. Okay. All right. Remember, everybody, mute yourself when you come in here. Okay. And thanks, team, for muting everybody and turning their videos off. All right. It's working. Now, what was happening here? We had some fantastic education. World class. Number 1, we get awards for how amazing our training is. World class. And there are some haters out in the world, unfortunately. You know, haters are going to hate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call the haters, if I may be so bold, the FTC, the AG, the SEC. You know, these are the regulators. Now, the regulators hate people that make money. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to them in their childhood or something growing up where they thought that people who made money were somehow, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. But they don't like when people make money. So they come in and they try to make rules around who can and how, what, and if we want to be in business, we have to follow these frickin' rules. Now, a lot of times these rules do keep people safe, for sure, because they're are ding dongs out there. There are scam artists, and there are a lot of bad things out there that can really take a lot of people's money. So I get it. I get why they're around, but the reach and the control that they have is a little unchecked, right? They're their own boss. Nobody checks the regulators. So it's a little challenging. But one thing that they're saying is if you have a product or a service, and then you also have a word of mouth plan where people can get paid. Now, whether that's referrals, oh boy, learning how to spell. Whether that's referrals or recruit. Now, we don't technically have a recruiting process or a referral plan, but we do make sales. I mean, it falls in line with every kind of industry you can think of. These regulators are in it. But what they want is that there's a, like, if you have to pay to play, right? We here, it's $197 a year to be able to earn commission through selling Renatus' services. What the regulators have made rules about is that there is a clear line, a distinction between the two worlds. Okay? There are people who buy our product and our services, right? It's $23,000, or it's $19.97. It's $29.97, right? Whatever they're buying. And then there's this world over here where we can pay you. We have to make this world separate. There's been some new rules that have come out that are really, really clear of what the regulators want. And so in order to stay in business, we got to follow the rules. Now, isn't it great that our CEO follows the rules? And we go to the limit of those rules, we stay within the bounds of those rules, but we follow the rules. So that's one reason why I love this company, is the leadership from the top down. Everyone's paying attention and taking care and following the rules. But what they're trying to say, and you know, the FTC just shut down, I think, like 10 different companies last year because people were only buying their product to get bonuses in their compensation plan. So they didn't have there was a blurry line, right? Because then the regulators would come in with their eyeballs and they'd look at it and they'd be all mad and stuff, and they'd be like, hey, people don't buy your stuff because it's good. They only buy your stuff because they want to get more money. That must mean that your thing sucks. You suck. That's what they would do. They'd be mad. They'd be like, meh. Hey. And it's clear that we say, no. People buy this because it's awesome. Our education rocks all by itself, right? Other third-party organizations have looked at us. We got highest ratings. We got the happiest customers. People are buying our education because the education's awesome. And then we show them the compensation plan. And so for the longest time, we've been right in line with that. No big deal. But now that we're expanding internationally, we're getting a lot more traction. We have to maintain this wall and make sure that we aren't, that there's never a complaint or there's never an argument that the regulators can say people only buy because of your compensation plan. Because if they buy your education for the compensation plan, then you're not actually selling them anything. This is what we're selling. This is where they're working. Right? We sell them a product, they can come over here and work with us. But if they only buy what you're selling to work with you, then there's no merit to what you're selling, and we're going to shut you down. You see how they're thinking? It's kind of, in some ways it's healthy because it does keep, the lowest common denominator, least sophisticated consumer. That's what they're looking for. The regulators are always trying to protect the least sophisticated consumer. But we don't want them to be able to have this argument. Right? We don't want this argument of people only buy because of your compensation plan, because that's not true, but it could look like that. Does that make sense? So what's happening is a lot is going to change, but it's for the better. And if you keep showing up to the founders webinars, Bob is going to give you more details each week. So please continue to show up and make that a regular part of your day, regular part of your week. I know a lot of people will do their team call before or after the founders webinar so that everybody's on their own team call, and then they get on the founders webinar and everyone gets all the updated info. But be sure to be on the founders webinar Mondays at 4 every Monday. Just don't skip. Okay, so what is changing? So right now, if we're moving forward and you've already purchased your education and you have a bucket that looks like this, fantastic. That 18 that you still got to do, great. That's how everything's going to be grandfathered. It's for the new people coming in that are going to have to qualify differently so that argument isn't there. The other thing that we're changing is, so basically, if you're hearing what I'm saying, is we can no longer incentivize people to buy. Now we're still going to make a boatload of money by helping someone get 5-star. So what I'm doing is I call people on my essentials team. Right? If someone's on my team's got essentials, I say, hey, did you know things are changing? And I know that you've been talking about getting the earnings plan, or I know you've been talking about getting the combo. You've been talking about it. But if you want to get that bucket chop and you want to get your own credit to count, now's the time. Now's the time. Now, I want to make sure and be clear that they're not just buying it for this because they already have the education. So I know that they love the training. Right? They already love the training. But they're hesitating. Now, if I wait till the change happens and I don't talk to them, there we go. Okay. So think about this. Whenever this deadline is on the calendar, I don't know when it is. But let's say all my team members over here are like, wait a minute, Michael, you knew that I was thinking about it, but you never just told me how important it was to do it. And they're no longer going to get bonuses for buying. So no more bonuses for buying. And that's okay. Because people are just going to buy because of how awesome it is. Now, obviously, let me make something very, very clear here. Bob Snyder is a genius. Okay? Bob Snyder is a genius. So he's already thought through so many different scenarios. And he also has a ton of integrity. So if he's going to take away something, right, he's going to have to take away the bonuses. He's going to take one thing away, he's going to give at least two things. He's always making it better. But we're just losing this incentive that people have to buy based off of our compensation plan. But he's going to give different things along the way. And that's why you need to be on the founders webinar and keep paying attention to that stuff. So because he's a genius, he's thinking about you and he's going, wait a minute, if that's changing, then what? Well, he's already thought about that. And pretty soon, everybody's going to know all the details, but he's giving you 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 different things to offset this one thing that he has to take away. And I think, honestly, in the new plan, I really do think that it's going to be easier to get qualified. I think it's going to be easier to get 5-star. I think it's going to be easier to enroll more ICMs. Okay. For sure. Because Bob Snyder's a genius and he wants the business to grow. So obviously he wants people to get 5-star. He wants more ICMs in the company. So I'm going to share one of my goals with you, and then we are going to transition because we got a special guest on the line. But I'm going to tell you my goal real quick. So maybe you guys can start to adjust some of your goals for this year because of the changes that are coming. So right now, I have, last time I looked, 855 ICMs for 2020. Okay, not bad. But my goal, my new goal is to get 2,000 ICMs by December. That's my goal. So in order to hit that goal, I have to more than double where I'm at to hit that goal. I don't want to get to 1,000. I've had 1,500 people on my team before in a year, but you know, as the renewals for the year happen, some people don't renew, and about half the people drop off. And I think that's partly because it was over here, it was kind of difficult in this old world to get 5-star, right? Wasn't it kind of hard to get 5-star here? And just you're getting 500s here and you're getting $0 over here. That was kind of hard. Well, now with these new changes happening, I think it's going to be even easier. Like I said, it's going to be even easier to get 5-star, and it's going to be easier to enroll ICMs. And we're still going to make boatloads of money. Now, can you tell what my drive is? Right? In Woody's training, what's my drive? Just put in the chat box what do you think my drive is based off of this statement right here. And I need to just remind you, this is not typical to make boatloads of money. You got to work your butt off for it. You got to put in the right time, skill set, mindset, tool set. You got to show up for it. But now you know one of my goals is it's time to build teams, even bigger than before. We're still going to sell education like crazy. This is life-changing education. But now is the time to really massively grow this organization. We should push Renatus to $100 million this year. Okay. Let's see if we got it right. Check in the chat, see if you guys got it right. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, most of you got it. It's the executive. The executive says, I want the monies. But the director says, I want the money to increase my lifestyle. And Ada as a question, will all the old combo holders get the new benefits too? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Bob Snyder's a genius because if he's got to take something away, he's going to continue to give more and more. So yes, you will definitely keep what you have. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, now I need to do this real quick. Bang. And I'm going to turn my camera on. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Just in the mastermind office over here. Okay. Now, what we're doing here is we have just a short amount of time before we got to go because I got the pack call here in about 17 minutes. All right. What we've done is I've organized Mr. Troy Dunn to come here on the line and talk to us some more about how we're going to be doing our international expansion. And he's got some great tips, got some great ideas. He is world renowned. He's a best-selling author. He is an incredible family man. I'm actually reading one of his books right now that he gave me. And he's got an intense business mind, and he knows exactly what he wants, and he goes out and gets it. So let's pay attention, and let's give the floor to Mr. Troy Dunn.
Thanks, Michael. How are you, friend?
I'm loving life, man. Good to see you.
Good to be seen. But speaking of being seen, I was sitting here because when you're on the panel side of these calls, you can flip through and see everybody who's on the call. And I don't know why everybody's hiding behind fake still images of themselves. I wanted to see I figured I'd see everybody sitting here in video form, staring at each other. So next time, let's all stare at each other in our realness.
There you go. Hey, everyone, turn your cameras on. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
Let's get the gallery mode going.
It's exciting to see the faces of everybody you're talking to, right? If it brings us together, that's the beauty of this technology. So you only have a few minutes, so I'm going to talk faster than I normally do, which most people would appreciate. First of all, Michael Huggins, you are an amazing leader, and to everybody who's in this organization, as everyone knows, I'm a big advocate of shooting the messenger. I teach it all the time. I've got a book I'm writing called Nobody Wants a Fat Personal Trainer, which is you got to be careful about who you listen to in your life and who you follow. And it is important to shoot all the messengers in your life that aren't qualified to speak about the things they speak about. Michael Huggins is an incredibly qualified person. He is, if there's a poster out there that says walk the talk, it's got Michael Huggins on it because he doesn't just sit around on calls and talk about it. He hangs up from his call and goes out and builds his business just like everybody else. So anyway, it's an honor to be involved with Michael. And there are people in the world who would ask me to do things like this that I would politely, because I'm a polite person, I would decline the opportunity because there are some folks that I don't want to necessarily be affiliated with out in the world. Not in Renatus. I haven't met one of those yet. I don't know if they exist, but I'm very protective of my brand because I've worked really hard to build my reputation, and as you have. So those of you who are, who came into this hesitant, like I got it, you're in the right place, and Michael's the right guy. So anyway, that being said, I also have to make one other fast comment, which means everything else I say is gonna have to come out even faster. As Michael was talking about some of these government organizations that have been shutting down businesses, if you're new, generally speaking, to the world of business, that you've always worked for somebody, so there were things you never had to think about. You just showed up, did your job, and went home, and you never had to think about the back office of running businesses. Let me just say this, so that you at no point you're like, wow, they're shutting down businesses. I wonder if something's going on. No. Every business, every day, there are people in their industry who are getting shut down. Doctors' offices, dentists, car lots, hair salons, grocery stores, massage parlors, real estate agents, daycare centers, hospitals, entire hospitals. You name it, there are people who choose to try to run their business outside of the law. And that's never been Renatus. It's never gonna be Renatus. And that's why hearing Michael explain everything that's going on should be comforting to you, which is to say, there are people inside Renatus whose full-time job is just to keep watching as our government keeps moving the boundaries, and we have to keep shuffling to stay inside of them. And that's what everybody's doing. If you have a cupcake shop, you have a health department that's constantly changing the rules, and you're like, well, dang, how do we keep making cupcakes? You got to keep working inside those moving lines. So anyway, so never let any of that information cause you any stress or anxiety. It should be comforting to you that you are involved in an organization who puts so much time and attention into making sure that we are staying within those boundaries so that you can make all that money that Michael Huggins lays awake at night and thinks about. I was very blessed when I built my business of reuniting people to build an international business. It was something that started on accident and then became significant. And at one point we had more people working with us or for us outside the US than inside the US. That's true for almost every successful network marketing company as well. Renatus has gone out of its infancy and then through its teenage years, and as Renatus starts to strive for adulthood, it's going to become an international company, which is, you are here at such a perfect time to be a part of that growth. Most people, when they get involved in any company, they're getting there after its maturity arises, which means the opportunities are still there. They're just a little harder to find. Right now, the field is covered in opportunity because Renatus is about to blast into the international spectrum. So the question is, how can you, specifically you, how can you be a part of that international expansion? You have no experience in international business. You've never built a business overseas. It is so simple. It's all the same tools. So I'm going to give you, this is the super condensed version. We could do this for 10 straight hours on a Saturday and I would still not be able to cover everything because I love the international opportunity so much. But here in just a couple of minutes are the 4 C's, of building a business overseas. If you're a writer, write these down. They're super simple though. So when I sold my company to Ancestry.com, we at that point, our company was present, had a presence, which could be in an office, it could just mean a representative, but we had a presence in all 50 states and 32 countries. In those 32 countries, I pulled in using these 4 C's of building a business overseas. Number 1, contacts. It is so simple. It literally means, where do you have contacts? Now, you may have none. That's okay. That doesn't preclude you from being a part of this. But if you have a contact, that is your low-hanging fruit. If you're like, well, I have a cousin that lives in the Outback in Australia. Great. You have just started an international division of your business in Australia because you have a contact. Because every contact, no man is an island. Every contact lives inside a community, and every community has another community. And so starting with where your contacts are is oftentimes the lowest hanging fruit, where you just say to somebody, hey, listen, it's Michael Huggins. How are you? I'm involved in online education, one of the fastest growing industries in the world right now. I'm looking to expand my business over into your area, and I'd like to talk to you about it. Right? I'm not giving you the speech. Michael's more qualified than I am, but that's how I reach out to a contact so they understand what's my purpose. I go straight ahead, very transparent, not trying to trick anybody, just want to tell them I own a business here in the US. I'm looking to expand over into your country. And since I know you and respect you, I thought I'd start by having this conversation with you. And it might turn into that person becomes a buyer of our education. It could be somebody who says, oh, you know who you'd like? My Uncle Frank, dude. He is totally right now looking to rebuild his life and reinvent something, or he's got a business of his own and he needs some help. Your education and the profits course would be amazing. So contacts is C number 1. C number 2, connections. That's different. Connections is different than contacts. It doesn't feel like it, but it is. Sidebar, if you are not actively, anxiously engaged on LinkedIn, repent and join LinkedIn. For those of you who spend too much time of your life on social media, looking at other people's insignificant posts and thinking you'll spend 5 minutes and you spend an hour, bad social media can suck you into a tunnel that you can never find your way out of. LinkedIn is good social media. It's where people like you and I are constantly in communication and sharing uplifting and inspiring content. And it's how you meet people who know people who know people. I don't have a giant LinkedIn network, but I think I have 1,600 people or so in multiple countries around the world. And so on LinkedIn, it's a great opportunity to not only find inspiration, but to meet other people who are like-minded and are business focused and are all around the world. You can go on LinkedIn and type in the country. By the way, as you talk about expanding your life into other countries, pick out the ones that you want to live in. You want to have a business that is in London because you just personally would love to travel to London once in a while to visit your group, right? You need an excuse to travel when we all get to travel again. Pick out the countries you want to be a part of. If you want to my business is expanding over to the UK, so I'll be in London. Great. Then wherever you want to grow your business, start having connections there. And connections for me starts with LinkedIn. It's just so easy to do. Number 3 of the 4 C's of overseas. Number 3 is community. Engage in communities. Now we're going to go back to social media again, because social media is the great community of the world, positive and negative, good and bad. It's why when I tell people who are starting businesses, don't put a lot of energy into building a website. It's okay to have a website, but a website is like a really beautiful room with nobody standing in it. Far better to go where the crowd is standing, set up a folding table and start to do business. And social media is that thing. And on social media, what's become more popular than ever, especially now during quarantine, are groups, Facebook groups. These groups exist in every single country. So find the communities that are in the communities that you want to be a part of and become a member of that community. And that is as simple as clicking on joining it. Me personally, I'm a member of 39 groups on Facebook. And you would think that means I have nothing else to do in my life. I'm hardly doing anything other than I keep up on occasional comments. I definitely look for excuses. I look for excuses to comment in those communities, because every comment I post raises my expertise. Every time they see, oh, that guy Troy just commented again. I'm in a community of people who are all wishing they could sell their own TV shows. They have ideas for TV shows. Well, I've been lucky, right? I've had 3 of them, and I'm working on number 4 and 5 right now. So when I go in and post and say something about how to launch your, a guy just answered a question for a guy who wants to know how to sell his show to Netflix. Super simple. So I gave him some tips. I guarantee you, as soon as I finish posting that, I have 2 or 3 people who start to go search for me on LinkedIn. And then I start getting these friend requests on LinkedIn or Facebook. So getting involved in a community. There are people in Australia who are small business owners. There are people in the UK. There are people in Singapore. There are people in Hong Kong. There are people in these places who want to start a small business, or they have a small business and they're struggling and they're looking for advice from experts. Now, you may not consider yourself an expert at this point, but that doesn't matter, because what you are is the messenger to the experts, right? That's what the Profits Course is. It's a team of experts who have all been successful in the business world and are now teaching an education on it. And you are the link to that education, which makes you the expert who can get them to the experts. So get anxiously involved in communities as often as you can, wherever you want to be. If you want a business in South America because you have family there, then start building a business in South America today with connections and comments and community. For comments, number 4 is comments. And I've kind of covered that, I guess. I should have bullet pointed it, but once you get inside of a community, you're invisible. You have no impact. You're changing no lives. You are simply taking. By reading everything, you're taking. We are big believers, right, in a life of abundance. Give back, give opportunity, start to talk to people, cheer them on. I'm a big, big fan and a big advocate of celebration and edification. If you're inside one of these communities and somebody announces something that's great that's happened for them, use that opportunity to post a comment that says, hey, congratulations on opening up your new hair salon. That's fantastic. If you ever need any advice on this or that, I can introduce you to somebody. Or every time somebody says, I've just graduated from school, heading out into the big world, well, that's awesome. Oh, I see somebody asking a question. So look for opportunities to comment. Your comments is how you go from being invisible in a community to visible. And if you comment enough with intellect and integrity, you go from being visible to being an expert. Once you become an expert, you are a sought after resource. So the 4 C's of building your business overseas are: number 1, contacts; number 2, connections; number 3, community; and number 4, comments. That is 29 years of experience shoved down into just a few minutes to help you guys today, Monday, a beautiful new day of a beautiful new week. As the world continues to come out of quarantine and start to look around and find a new experience and a new opportunity for themselves, this is your opportunity to say, the first half of 2020 was whack. The next half of 2020 is the time you'll always look back on as the time that you built an international business. And if there's places you want to travel to, build your business there so that you can go there for free and make money. So anyway, that's it, Michael Huggins. Sorry if I took too much time. That's my quick rundown on how to build your business internationally. Good luck to everybody. God bless you. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them in the 30 seconds I have left.
Okay, we got we got 1 minute for some top level questions. Everyone, please take a screenshot right now. I just took some quick notes on what Mr. Dunn was talking about. We are going to have him back on here in a little bit. If you have not got your profits course yet, it is definitely time to get it. He's going to go over some more of that training, the mindset, how to get yourself out there and be exposed to more people. He covers that in depth in the profits, so be sure to be watching that. Take a screenshot and review this stuff. So let's see if we've got any questions real quick here. So we covered that. Thank you. Just a bunch of thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. All right,
I have
everyone.
one quick
We're at the
question.
top of the hour. Oh, what's up?
Quick question. I just wanted to clarify, in order for people to sell profits that live in other countries, they have to have an entity and an EIN set up in the US, correct?
For now, yes.
Okay,
Yep, they have
perfect.
to just go through. It's the same thing. Like if someone lives here but they don't have a social security number, right? They're an immigrant. They moved here but they haven't been completely set up for citizenship. Then they would go set up an EIN or an LLC with an EIN, and then we can enroll that entity as an ICM so that we can pay them legitimately. They can get a bank account.
Michael, can I jump in real quick?
Definitely.
So definitely want to make sure everybody understands that Renatus is in the process, and Michael probably has more insight than I do, and this isn't the time for that, but they are in the process of getting ready to start to formally set up shop in various countries. Bob has a list of countries he's targeting. He's very focused on it. I've been in those conversations. You don't have to have anybody over there and overseas do anything to buy the education and take the education. And what I would really focus on right now is that around the world, there are tens of millions of small business owners who are coming out of the same pandemic you and I are and are looking to restart their business. And what they need is education and the resources of the Profits course. So you can sell the Profits course to any human being walking on planet Earth. I would focus on English-speaking countries first, but you can sell this education, which all by itself is a powerful weapon in the business world. And right now, what everyone in small business needs in every country is weapons to build their businesses or rebuild their businesses.
Yes, that is a very powerful distinction. In order for them to buy it, they just need to have the money, which is totally fine. Inside of Helios, all the inputs for putting in credit cards and international addresses and everything is already built in. So for them to buy it, fantastic. Let's focus on them buying it now. If someone is like, yes, I definitely want to sell it, and they want to do it now, then those are the steps to take. But very soon, Bob's going to have it set up so that basically anyone can do it. They don't have to be set up in the U.S. to sell it. But to buy it, it's already ready. Get it to them.
Right now.
Put it in their hands. Everyone is looking for the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's another Successful Money Monday. I got to go hop on the PAC call. You guys got your phone calls to make. Go watch some class. Go spread the love. Go make some contacts, connections. Stay involved in your communities and go comment and celebrate others. Okay, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very great information.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Also Monday.
Thank you, everybody.
Great insight, everyone.
Thanks, Troy. Got to thank you.